Okay, so welcome to the Kleeneze Fresh Start Group Training webinar. As you can see there, tonight's webinar is building your customer base. And this is one of a series of 8 webinars which I run every Wednesday or most Wednesdays. There's a series of 8 there. I do one a week, so it normally takes about 9 weeks because there's usually one or other that I can't make for some reason. As you can see there, tonight's is the third of the 8. The first 2 are just about getting started and the first few weeks. This is moving on from there a bit about building your customer base. And then next week, and the next couple of weeks, in fact, we're going to be talking about team building. So hopefully you'll all find this useful. As I said earlier, these are all recorded, and I'll explain right at the end how you can get to watch the recordings of this or any of the others that you'd like to. So down to tonight's nitty-gritty, building your customer base. What we're going to be covering, put my teeth back in. What we're going to be covering tonight is, firstly, what is a customer base? And those of you who have been in the business for a little while will hopefully understand what I mean. But I know James has just started this week, so hopefully that'll be useful for James and other new starters. A quick question and understanding about why customers order from you. I'm going to then talk about customer bonding, building a bit of rapport with your customers, and different ways of doing that. And the result of all of that should hopefully be, a base of loyal customers. So, quick question for everybody. Be really interesting to hear that. Oh, hello Claire, welcome on board. Yes, quick question. How many customers do you have at the moment? Type away, give me a rough idea. Because obviously there's going to be some people who have just started. Kate, 600, that must be Kate Lee. Hello Kate, 600. Richard and Helen, oh hi Richard and Helen. 1100 customers, that's good, excellent. Andrew and Amanda, 100. James, none, because you've just started, yeah. Natalie Ann, 120. Claire, 4, just started as well. Beth, 9, well done Beth. Oh, it is a different Kate. I do apologise, Kate. Matlina, 600 or so. Excellent. I mean, that's a fantastic little survey there. It kind of shows people who are right at the beginning. I know Claire in my team, James, who I met earlier when he joined us, just started, just got a handful of customers. Some people with 1100, 1,000 customers there. That's fantastic. But how do you get from starting off with 0, as we all do, up to 800, 1100, however many you might want? And that's what we're going to explain now. So basically, when you first start off, in your first month, as we've seen, you have 0 customers. And each week, you should aim to deliver around about 200 catalogues a week to different houses near where you live. Now, depending on your personal situation, you might deliver your catalogues once a week, which would be 200 or 250. You might be, if you're looking to earn a bit more from it quickly, you might deliver those catalogues 2 or even 3 times a week. So obviously you'll be delivering more at the beginning. But as an example, if you deliver 200 catalogues to houses, you might get 20 orders or so from new customers. And if you do that for 4 weeks, then at the end of that month, at the beginning of month 2, you've got 80 customers. So then you go back to the beginning again. Those of you that are familiar with the 4x6 routine. Oh, hello Helen, nice to see you on board. Those of you familiar with the 4x6 routine that we tend to talk about, you go back every 4 weeks to the houses that you deliver to at the beginning again. So when you're doing that in month 2, you're delivering 20 to customers that you'd picked up previously, and maybe 180 or so to other houses that haven't yet ordered from you. And out of those, maybe you get 5 or 10 orders from other new customers that didn't order from you the first time. So then, we're in month 3. You've now got 120 customers. And each week, you're again trying to deliver your 200 catalogues a week, let's say. And so this time, you're delivering about 30 of the 200 to customers and 170 to other people that haven't yet ordered from you. Again, you will pick up orders from new people who haven't yet ordered from you, so you might get another 10 customers. And so on. So basically, in month 4, you've now got 160 customers. You're delivering to 40 customers each week and about 160 to other people that haven't yet ordered. And this just carries on and on and on for as long as you're delivering and blanketing new areas. You will always pick up new customers. So what do you do once you've been round? And we operate a system where after you've been round back to the same houses 6 times, so that would be around about 6 months, you'll be crossing people off the list. So people who haven't ordered or haven't looked at that time, and certainly people that tell you either they don't want a catalogue, maybe that they've already got a distributor who delivers to them. So you can cross those people off your list. And after 6 deliveries, you might decide to cross people off that haven't ordered from you. Now, there may be a few exceptions to that. If people have been looking at it regularly and they live nearby one of your customers, then it's probably worth continuing to deliver to them. But if you've got people who have never looked at the catalogue for 6 times, the chances of them becoming one of your customers are a bit slim. So at that point, I normally suggest that you cross those houses off and then you move on to new areas. So if you continue to do that, depending on how much you want to earn, eventually you get to the point where you've got maybe 800 customers. So that each week you're delivering 200 catalogues to people who have previously ordered from you. And what you'll notice, if you look at your statistics, your average order for each catalogue that you put out goes up from probably less than £1 when you're starting off to £5, £6, £7, £8, £9 plus. So you're almost earning 10 times as much from the same number of catalogues that you're putting out. And this is your customer base. This is what we all aim to get to once we start off delivering our catalogues. There's lots and lots of benefits of the customer base. When you first start off, the business is very up and down. You will have drops where you deliver 100, 200 catalogues and get no orders or hardly any orders. Other drops where you'll get 10 or 20 orders, and you can't work out what you've done differently. And in fact, yep, Graham there, good example, 3 orders from over 200 catalogues, and you'll get that at times. But when you've got a customer base, what you find is that you get a lot fewer bad pickups because you're only delivering to people who know you, like you, and trust you. So they're going to order from you, and your pickups are a lot more stable. So, quick question. Wonder why customers order from us? Those of you who've been in the business for a while might find this a difficult one to answer, but can you remember before you were a Kleeneze distributor, had you heard of Kleeneze? I don't know, maybe you'd heard the name, or if your mum did it. Kate, you had? Yeah. Graham had. Tony had? Yeah. Matlina hadn't. Natalie, Ann, you had? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I certainly had as well, and I think it's because Kleeneze's been a successful British company, and it's really almost an institution, been around since 1923, so many people have heard of Kleeneze. And what that means is, initially, when people see a Kleeneze catalogue, they will buy from it before they've met you or even seen you, simply because Kleeneze is a well-known and trusted brand. It's been established, as I said there, for 90 years. So you will get orders from people, and that's how we all get orders, before they've even met us, simply because they recognise the name and they know it's a trusted brand. Now, what then happens is, you get an order from a customer, and you go back to deliver it to them, and you're sort of reliable, you're polite, you're friendly, you're helpful, and so your customers start to get to know you, and hopefully they like you. And what happens then is that there's a change in the behaviour of your customers, because at that point your customers are not buying from Kleeneze, they're buying from you. And that's really important, and I've got loads of examples, and it certainly happened to me a lot, where I was delivering catalogues to people regularly. They hardly ever used to order. The first time they ordered, then they got to know me, and I would sort of ring them up and say hello, and we got to know them a little bit. And then after that, I was getting an order from them every month or every other month. And it's not that anything changed, that there wasn't suddenly lots of exciting products in that weren't in before. It's just that once they get to know you, then they're much more likely to order from you rather than just a catalogue, if that makes sense. So, how can we reinforce it? That kind of feeling that they are ordering from you, from Graham or Helen or Claire or Glyn. And we do that by what I'm calling customer bonding. And this is really, really important. It makes a big difference. Quick question, another one. What is everyone's favourite word? Any suggestions? Try to keep it clean, everybody, please. No. Any other suggestions for favourite words? Sorry, this isn't just an obscure question because I wanted to throw a question in. There is a reason behind it. Please, yep, good one. Me, yep, good one, Kate. Thank you, yep, very good. Me, yep, very good, very good. Actually, most people's favourite word is their name. And that kind of makes sense, you know, if you're sort of in a crowded room and someone shouts, Chris, well, you probably wouldn't, but if someone shouts Chris, I'll look around, I'll be interested. Oh, is that somebody who knows me? So, if everyone's favourite word is their name, it's really important that you get to know your customers' names. So, usually you get to know their name. Hopefully they'll write it in the customer's details on the order form. And if they tell you their first name, then make sure you make a note of it. So as I'm going round, if I'm picking up order forms in a blanketing a new area, I'm writing in my notes where I'm making a list of whether they've ordered from me, if they've looked at the catalogue or not. I will write down their name. And if they've given me their first name, I'll write that down as well. So whether it's Mrs. Johnson or Sue Johnson or whatever, I'll write that down. And then make sure you use that name. So next time you're delivering the catalogue, a month later, if you happen to see them, they might be in the garden or whatever, just, you know, as you're on the way there, just sort of think, oh yeah, I've got a customer just on here. Oh yeah, Mrs. Johnson it was, number 27. And then if you see them, just, hi Mr. Johnson, how are you? And then, you know, pop the catalogue through the letterbox or whatever. And people are sort of fascinated by the fact that they only briefly met you a few weeks ago and you've remembered their name. Now, you probably haven't remembered it. You've just made a note of it sort of 5 minutes earlier as you're walking along. But you get the point. People like the fact that you've bothered to either remember or make a note of their name. And as you get to develop kind of your business and you start to see your customers around, not just at their house, but in the town or at the shops, you know, and sometimes it's a bit difficult, especially at the beginning. You see somebody and you think, oh, I know that lady from somewhere. But because she's not in her doorstep as you hand over her orders, it's not quite, you don't quite fit the same. But as you get to know them, you will start to recognise people out and about. And if you see somebody's name, make a point of just saying, hi, Mrs. Johnson. Now, at the beginning, you might get a lot of looks from people saying, I know that person, but I just can't think who it is. Unless you're wearing your Kleeneze t-shirt or a Kleeneze fleece or something like that, they may not remember you at first. But you know, a couple of weeks later, when you're delivering an order to them, they'll sort of think, oh gosh, I saw you down the town the other day, didn't I? And this is all building up a relationship, a bit of rapport with your customers. And also, make sure you keep a track of and make a little note if you need to, anything that you find out about the customer. So, you know, if they've got a dog, I don't know what it is, but lots of my Kleeneze customers have dogs. So whenever I go up to see a dog, you know, they always come up and say hello, normally bark at me to try and chase me off the premises, but I always say, oh, hello, what's your name? What a gorgeous dog. Find out the name of the dog because, you know, if my customer loves dogs, I love dogs as well. And you might find out things about the husband. You know, for example, you try to deliver an order and Mrs. Johnson says, oh, I've got to nip down the hospital. My husband's in hospital at the moment. Could you bring it around tomorrow instead? And then just make sure that next time you see them, you ask, you know, how's Mr. Johnson or Graham or whatever his name might be. And the same with children and things. It's just making a little note at the beginning about, you know, the names of husbands and dogs and things like that. But over a period of time, you'll find that you get to remember those things anyway, because as you're building this relationship, which at the beginning might feel a bit strange, because you're actually kind of not remembering all these things. You're kind of making little notes about it. But as you get to know them, you won't need to remember them because you'll know your customers quite well. And you'll know the name of their dog and the name of their husband and their children and what the children are doing and all sorts of things. And other things that you can do, and I really like doing this one, you'll often see, if you're visiting, you know, delivering an order or something like that, some cards in the window. So I always say, oh, is it somebody's birthday? And you know, obviously once a year, I was going to say quite often, but once a year, it'll be the birthday of your customer. So I always just sort of say, oh, happy birthday, when was it? And you know, oh, yesterday or tomorrow or today or whatever. And then I'll make a note of that, and in a year's time, I will drop a birthday card round to that customer, just saying happy birthday. And little things like that go a really long way to building that loyalty. Christmas is a great time for cards. You'll hear this a lot from Gavin's Easy Reach messages and things like that. Coming up to Christmas, normally in the last 4 weeks, the last period before Christmas, I handwrite Christmas cards for all of my customers, and I put there now, and to Sue and Graham, Merry Christmas from Chris and Sarah, and then I put in brackets Kleeneze. I mean, they know who it's from anyway, but then if they've got neighbours round, neighbours often go around and say, oh, that's a nice Christmas card, who's that from? And they see, their Kleeneze distributors giving them a card, then you never know, that might get you a bit of extra business from that. Easter is another good time for doing that. Last year, this did really, really well for us. So I'm not suggesting you have to do all these things all the time, but just pick some of them that you'd like to have a go at. My wife enjoys making sort of cakes and biscuits and things like that. And Sarah, it was the 90th anniversary of Kleeneze last year. So I can't remember when it was, kind of in the, I think it was sort of springtime, something, around Easter or so. Sarah just made a load of little biscuits, and you can kind of see them there. Just little shortbread biscuits with a chocolate coating and 90 written on them. And we just popped a little one in, a little plastic one in with each catalogue that I delivered round. Now, if you've got 1,100 customers, I have to say you'll be baking for a little while. We don't have as many as that. But again, just a little card in there, just saying, to celebrate the 90th anniversary of Kleeneze, please have a little biscuit on us with your next cup of tea, or something like that. And literally, our orders for that period doubled, because there were so many stories of people coming back, oh, thank you so much for those biscuits, it was really nice. And one customer who was absolutely delighted, who couldn't read the note, but said, oh, that was so kind of you, how on earth did you know it was my 90th birthday? And so I was pleased to tell her that she was born in the same year that Kleeneze had started. But just little things like that, I can guarantee that all of these people that love these little biscuits and cards and all sorts of things will be customers for life as long as I'm happy to continue delivering to them. So all of those things, all of those little bonding rapport things, result in customers that know you, they like you, and they trust you. And as a result of that, you just get lots and lots of regular orders. So that's it, really. It's not complicated. It's really just treating your customers how you would like to be treated yourself, trying to remember their names, be friendly with them. I mean, it's I love it when I'm out in the town and somebody sort of says, oh, Chris, hi, how are you? Come over, have a little chat. Because you obviously kind of feel that somebody's making an effort to come and say hello to you. So when I do that to my customers, I think they enjoy that too. So hopefully this all kind of makes sense. What is a customer base? So hopefully you know what that is now if you didn't before. Customers order from you, as I said, in two different ways. So firstly, just simply because it's the Kleeneze catalogue, but secondly, because they've got to know you, like you, and trust you. And that customer bonding, you can go a long way towards reinforcing that, not just by delivering the orders, but by remembering their names, Christmas cards, anything like that goes a long, long way to building that base of loyal customers. Okay, so that was building your customer base. As you can see, number 3 there. Next week, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to do it next week, but I will let you know. But the next webinar, either next week or the week after, will be team building for dummies or beginners, whichever you think of yourself as. In a moment, I'm just going to stop the recording. In fact, I'll do that now.